Hey guys, welcome back. I've been having a lot of fun shooting this Traditions Kentucky rifle lately, and I was just going to show you some of the black powder gear that I've been using. I got this powder horn off of Amazon. When it came in, it didn't have anything holding the plug. I just added a little bit of leather from there through the hole in the plug, and I put a little bit of gaffing tape around that end to help hold it in there better. And I added a piece of 16th inch stainless pin, that way I can pick out the nipple if I need to. But for my powder horn, that works pretty well. I also sewed up this leather bag, really simple bag. This leather I got from a couch. This is like old furniture leather, because you know, leather's expensive and this was free, so why not use it, especially since I'm not going to use this bag all the time. I figured it would work pretty well, and it has. Inside my bag, I've got just some canvas. I use that for patches. I've got a block of walnut that I drilled holes in that are just about the same size as the bore. And inside this block, I go and I put a patch over it, and then I put a ball over the patch, and I'll drive the ball and patch into this little block. And then I can cut off the excess patch, and then I'll put a little bit of lube on the back side to fill it in. I made this starter out of walnut and some micarta spacers with a piece of aluminum arrow, but this guy's a little bit short, and I don't really like the shape up here as well as I do this one that was given to me. This one's a little bit longer. I found out that I like the longer length of this one because it gives you enough room once you push it that 6 inches down inside the bore to really get your ramrod started. Only having it going about 2 inches down inside the bore with this one isn't quite enough, because you don't have enough room to get some inertia going before you hit that ball with your ramrod. So this one I like the length of better, and plus it has the solid wood handle. You can almost use like a little bit of a mallet sometimes to kind of, once you get the ball set on top, you can kind of tap it a couple times to get it seated down in there, and that seems to work pretty well. Out of that same couch leather, I made a couple little sacks for the lead balls. Keep those in. I've got my primers. I've got my powder measure. One thing I still need to do is I'm going to add a little pouch on this sling for my powder measure and put a little leather lanyard on it. That way my powder measure is easily accessible right up here. I don't have to go fishing through the bag. The rifle itself is pretty nice. It came with a pretty decent finish, and it feels like it's overall pretty good quality. I will say the fit and finish isn't the best on it. You can tell that there's like some gaps and stuff between some of the brass and wood. It doesn't seem like it was fit together extremely well. There's still a lot of buffing compound and stuff left around the corners of lots of the brass pieces, so it's not a really nice finish, but it's good enough. It's something that you can start out with this being the cheaper end of the more traditional style muzzleloaders. I think it's something you can start off with. One thing they could have done a little bit better is maybe include a little bit heavier duty ramrod. This guy is feeling very flimsy. I feel like this thing's gonna snap on me about every time I use it. Hasn't yet, thankfully, but it does feel pretty flimsy. And whatever holds it inside there doesn't hold it very well. After each shot, it slips its way out a little bit. But these are small problems, things that can be worked around. The trigger on this is actually pretty phenomenal. It's a two-piece trigger, which I hadn't encountered before. You take it to full cock, and then you pull the back trigger, and that sets the front trigger. And then the front trigger is very light after that. I found that you can also take it to half cock, pull the rear trigger, and that still works. So then as soon as you cock it to full cock, then it's still that very light trigger. I'm not sure which way is the appropriate or recommended way to do it, but either way seems to work. But if you try to pull the front trigger without pulling the rear trigger first, it's just dead, nothing happens. But pull the rear trigger and then have a really light trigger pull for the front. The sights are adequate. They're just a simple V-notch with a brass front sight. They are set pretty low on the rifle. You have to get your cheek pretty tight into the buttstock, pretty low down into the buttstock for you to be able to see down the sights and be able to line them up properly. It feels like you're having to pull your head back a little bit, and then whenever you fire it, it does come up and kind of hit you in the cheekbone a little bit. At least it does me. For this being such a low recoiling rifle, because it's so heavy, it does hit you pretty hard in the cheek. I'm not sure if this is just the way that they were made traditionally back in the day, but having such a big scallop right here in the buttstock is a little bit uncomfortable. If you don't have the placement perfect, then this right here will dig into your shoulder, or I guess your upper pectoral. This one came with the little trap door for patches in the stock. I haven't put anything in there. I use the bullet blocks like this, so I haven't had any need to keep separate patches in there, but it's there if you want to use it. Another cool thing is it's really easy to make your own ammo. All the balls I've been shooting have been ones I made with this little Lee Precision double ball mold and this old spoon. I got all my lead from old pipes, like old sewer pipes and stuff. They used to use lead as seals, I guess, but I was able to find a pile of those and I was able to grab a bunch of them. So easy to make your own ammo, and it's kind of cool to be able to see the process from the beginning to the very end. Overall, it's just been fun slowing down a little bit and using a more traditional rifle.